then you're on your own.
No, don't leave me here with her, please! I'm begging you, please!
Wednesday fans everywhere have been pumped over the official Season 2 announcement. You already know that we would never miss an opportunity to talk about Netflix's Wednesday, so we are back with another video to reveal everything that has been going on behind the scenes of Wednesday. From the cast members' off-screen relationships to the story behind Ajax and Enid's viral scenes and why Jenna Ortega is now being cancelled. Stay tuned to find out all of this and maybe a little more.
I'm not used to people engaging with me. Mostly me coming in across the street.
You're not scary, you're just kinda...
The tight-knit relationship between the cast. We have got to give it to their casting director, who did a fantastic job. We mean everyone was the perfect fit for the roles they played. What's really interesting though is how the Wednesday cast gets along even better in real life than their characters do on screen. One likely reason for this is that the show was shot in Romania, which is quite perfect for a supernatural show like this one. You know, considering that this was the birthplace of Vlad the Impaler, the inspiration for Dracula. Aside from the location, the show was filmed during the pandemic. Because of this, there were many restrictions during the first 4 months of shooting. The actors couldn't even leave when they had time off because that meant they'd have to quarantine again. This made things difficult for the cast members who were so far away from home. On the bright side, these guys were able to bond really quickly. Georgie Farmer, who plays Ajax Petropoulos, described the experience as being like a bubble of some sort. Since they really weren't going outside the set, they had each other to deal with the situation. Thankfully, halfway through shooting the series, things started to open up again. This meant that the cast were able to spend more of their free time away from the set and in their hotel rooms. The beginning of longtime friendships, wouldn't you say?
Wednesday? I didn't sign up for this. Let's go to Weems, explain everything.
Weems won't help.
Making many blockbuster movies.
The hell am I?
Somewhere where no one can hear your screams.
What's with the chains?
Don't ask stupid questions.
Percy Hines White, who plays Xavier Thorpe, revealed that making Wednesday was like shooting a blockbuster movie with his friends. He expressed how much fun he had on set because the majority of his cast members were like goofballs, always trying to make each other laugh all the time. They got to do crazy stunts, boat racing, fighting, dancing, and also experimenting with super cool special effects. Emma Myers, who plays Enid, also shared that their favorite pastime on set was producing and starring in their own short films. According to her, there was no wrap party when filming was done. With time on their hands, the cast put together their own film festival, where they all split into groups and made their own short films. Emma shared this behind-the-scenes photo of herself and Jenna Ortega wearing ski masks. It was a short film that was set in front of an abandoned building in Romania, and it was directed by Percy. In the film, they pretended to be robbers, but were eventually chased by the security guard of the building. Sign us up to see that movie.
How canst thy heart still beat? What demon sorcery is this?
Taking on Romania.
I should have believed you. But since you seem to have some sort of psychic connection to the Hyde, I was curious to know if you've drawn anything recently that might shed some light on the situation.
You want my help?
Hunter Doohan, who plays Tyler Galpin, was just as excited to be on the show as the rest of the cast. Even more so because he didn't have to learn anything complex for his role, unlike his co-stars who had to pick up things like fencing, archery, or canoeing. Well, he briefly had to step into the role of a barista, not like he was any good at it, as he was literally in the process of breaking an espresso machine in his very first scene. He was happy about the fact that he didn't have to do a lot on set, but he did have one thing to complain about though. He recently expressed that playing the role of Tyler meant that he had to do most of his scenes in Jericho, which we could say is more like the real world in this scenario. According to him, because his character was not involved in anything at the Nevermore School, he rarely got to see the really cool sets while filming. Naturally, this meant that he had a lot of free time, which he mostly spent with co-star Ricky Lindholm, who plays Dr. Valerie Kinbot. While the rest of the cast were busy filming, these two loved to do all the cool tourist stuff. They traveled to see the salt mines and even went to visit Dracula's castle in Transylvania. While they did this, their co-stars preferred to spend their free time hosting spontaneous game parties. They would hang out, play Jackbox games for hours, and go go-karting, and even watch their favorite movies together.
My mother told me it's for conjuring visions.
It is also a conduit for conjuring spirits.
Emma Myers and Georgie Farmer.
We spent 5 years in the Tibetan monastery.
Was he a monk?
Prisoner.
We already discussed the social awkwardness of Emma Myers and how hard it is for her to connect with people in the previous video. Following that, she recently revealed that the experience of spending such quality time with the cast that were mostly her age was wholesome, and that it was helped her realize that. She could not only relate to, but also connect with people. It turns out that the social awkwardness was the starting point of her friendship with Georgie Farmer. Well, that and playing each other's love interests on the show, of course. Georgie has expressed that Emma is one of the most incredible people he has ever met, and because of that, she means a lot to him. Many of Ajax and Enid's scenes have gone viral on the internet, and this is probably because the real-life bond between the two actors shines through their scenes together. The two had spent the most time together while on set because shortly before the Christmas holiday break, most of the cast and crew had left, so at some point it was just Georgie, Emma, and the show's director, Tim Burton. Georgie went on to express how excited he would be if the second season would be shot in England instead. The British actor toyed around with the idea, saying how cool it would be to show his co-stars the coolest parts of London.
Therapy is a valuable tool to help you understand yourself.
It can teach you new ways to deal with your emotions.
Emma Myers and Jenna Ortega.
I doubt Wednesday is impressed by your tricks, Mr. Thorpe.
Admit it, you're a little impressed.
Another on-screen relationship that translates to real life is the relationship between Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers. They play the roles of Wednesday and Enid Sinclair, and they certainly grabbed our hearts and attention while doing so. Their friendship on screen was one of the sweetest and most wholesome parts of the show. Their relationship was so good to watch that some fans of the show are rooting for a possible romantic relationship between the two. Despite the love triangle between Wednesday, Xavier, and Tyler, and the budding relationship between Enid and Ajax, these fans don't even care. It doesn't help that Jenna and Emma are always quick to gush about each other during their interviews. Jenna particularly seems to agree with some of these fan theories. According to her, Tyler should be off the table now for Wednesday. She also adds that Wednesday is just getting to a safe place with Xavier, so there is room for Wednesday to feel like she's off boys for a while. Shockingly, Jenna also presented a possible twist when she said that the stalker who was introduced in the last scene of the first season could very well be Enid. In her own words, maybe Enid is just in love with Wednesday.
I don't usually find students in here looking for actual books.
Jenna Ortega fighting the love triangle.
I'm just cannon fodder in whatever Cold War you're waging with Bianca. I have more pressing issues on my mind.
On the topic of the love triangle, this is one part of the show that Jenna does not agree with. She has expressed how she doesn't think Wednesday would ever find herself in a love triangle. According to Jenna, Wednesday is not boy crazy and has more important things to occupy her thoughts, so being in a triangle with Xavier and Tyler is just something that doesn't make a lot of sense. She adds that the idea of Wednesday and Xavier being platonic is the type of representation of male and female relationships that is not seen every day on TV. She expressed that this is a good way to go for the second relationship. This actually portrays her real-life relationship with Percy Hines White. These two are so close that they sparked dating rumors. They never confirmed or denied anything, but have stayed close ever since they wrapped up on set. They are rumored to actually be working on a new young adult movie together in Utah. We will be sure to keep an eye out for that one. Anyways, these types of conversations that Jenna opened up probably landed her on an even bigger role for the season 2 of Wednesday. Yes, Netflix officially announced that Jenna would be also on the set as an executive producer of the second season.
All I'm saying is my dad, the expert, would warn you that psychic ability isn't rooted in logic.
Jenna Ortega canceled.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your, do we even want to know?
Recently, Jenna Ortega faced a lot of backlash for showing support for Percy. Sometime in February, sexual assault allegations were made against Percy, as several women have called him out for sexually abusing or aiding in the sexual abuse of young women between the ages of 17 to 20. Many are even calling for Netflix to remove him from the show. Unfortunately, amid all of this, Jenna had been talking about her friendship with him, and people jumped on this, believing that she was outrightly defending him. It is really heartbreaking how the internet treats celebrities these days, and in this case, just for doing something as human as giving a friend the benefit of the doubt in the midst of unconfirmed allegations.
I didn't draw it.
Well, I need to know who did.
Unless we're exchanging intel, I'm not at liberty to say.
Do you think Percy Hines White would be dropped from the show? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any upcoming videos.
Sheriff Galpin isn't pressing kidnapping charges, which is a miracle given the circumstances.
Of course he's not. How long have you known?